everybody? Derwin L Rose, Dragon Nerd Gaming, or Derwin L Rose II if you guys want to call me. I am back with another Dragon Ball video. Well, pretty much, we're going to be discussing it's not just me, it's me and Scopes. We're pretty much going to be discussing the Dragon Ball Super Hero movie that just recently came out in theaters, and yeah, I mean, I already saw it. I'm not going to say where I saw it. I mean, obviously I saw it in theaters, but yeah.
Select theaters.
Before we get into like the meat and potatoes of this, like, what are your Scopes? What are your thoughts on like how this, like, not the whole movie? Don't spoil the end yet. Like, tell me like the first like the first half of the movie. What are your thoughts? Because the first half of the movie, it opens with the Red Ribbon Army, telling stories about like how like the Z Fighters were like villains and stuff, and like they're trying to like figure out a way on how to get revenge on them.
That is correct.
They could be generals.
Two people who were created for evil became redeemed, yet they know they bear their powers. And the funny thing is, I think you saw it in the film. So, the android who becomes half Majin, the original copy is Dr. Vomi, or...
Don't forget how Android 21 was mentioned. Android 21 was only showed in the fighter's game, and then she was actually brought into the series now because of... They only showed a picture of her. I'm like, oh, she's canon now.
Yes, and Android 21, her real name is Dr. Vomi, Dr. Vomit. You missed that? Seriously?
Dr. Vomit.
I had to take a look at the screen because it said Dr. Ghetto. Ghetto means vomit or barf. I'm serious. And then Dr. Hedo means Dr. Trash, like Dr. Garbage, like disgusting, gross, ew, like you look like fucking back sweat or shit sweat.
How did Akira Toriyama come up with these names? Was he at the club one night and then all of a sudden threw up and then went straight to the trash?
I mean, that's the joke. Yet here's the thing. The whole idea was Toriyama wanted to create disgusting characters personified with their names attached. He wanted to create characters that people would remember and then be like, oh, they're cool, I want to cosplay them. And then in Japan, they're thinking, dude, what the fuck? My character's name is literally vomit or barf.
Vegeta, vegetables. Raditz, radish.
Vegeta, vegetables.
Piccolo,
yeah,
Piccolo.
I still remember when a bunch of American trolls basically sent Akira Toriyama the meme Piccolo Dick. I'm not kidding, it's an actual meme. Oh, basically dicking all the Z Fighters and everybody. Mamoru Miyano and Kamiya Hiroshi are yaoi seiyuu couple because Mamoru Miyano voices Ultraman Zero. In the Ultraman universe, Kamiya voices Janbot 9. Then there's Gundam 00, where Miyano voices Setsuna. They deal in finances and funding the renewal of Red Ribbon. Yet, I won't say too much. They've done a good job. They really did a bang-off job about refunding Red Ribbon, reshaping Red Ribbon. At the same time, they retained their scummy behavior from the whole theme of vengeance, hatred, anger. And I feel Toriyama is denoting that the Red Ribbon Army is motivated by this cycle of vengeance, hatred, and anger that they can never break out of.
I mean, it is Goku's fault anyways, why they wanted to take revenge anyways, so...
Well, that and their methods, pre-Goku, pre-Son, we're talking about a group motivated enough to hurt people who have no qualms about whether or not they do damage to the land, destroy nature, destroy people, destroy others' lives. And then comes along Goku, who couldn't stand up any of this. At the same time, Goku was a bit selfish, wanting to fight them to power himself up. Yet, here he was, realizing the nuance between good versus evil. So, it is interesting to see this direction. And I will say this, and I think you can agree.
Go on.
There are so many tributes Toriyama pays back to original Dragon Ball, to just how he depicts the characters, to the alien-like superheroes, the ones wearing red and blue capes, Ichigo Neagle,
Gamma 1
I'll
and
say
Gamma
this
2.
much. Yes, both Gammas. Both of them. I take it you're a good rider study. Does it?
Yeah, because the way these
Does it?
guys were like showing off with Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, or like you said, Ichigo and Nigo, they were showing off exactly how Kamen Riders behave in the Toku series. Like
Yes.
their
And in
poses, the
the
way they talk, the way they like fight, the whole. What was it? I don't want to spoil this because we haven't gotten to this part in the whole movie yet. One specific fight, Gamma. I think was it Gamma 1 or was it Gamma 2? Because one of them did a rider kick towards what's his face. I'm not gonna say yet.
Gamma 2, and that's okay because, do you mind I give our little audience a hint on who they're voiced by? I'll say this. For the Japanese dub, we got really spoiled. I mean, really spoiled. They gave us two voice actors who voiced villains and then went on to voice the polar opposites, being heroes, aspiring to be heroes, to make up for amends of the past, of people who they couldn't rescue, or whether they were selfish in their past lives. Then they trained. That was what I loved about the film. It was such a good parallel. And once again, I'll say it, they did a splendid job. They went beyond, and it was a great thing Toriyama could get them in, as well as the studio, as well as them offering to lend their voices.
Yeah, and a lot of people are gonna be hearing some nostalgia because some of the voice actors that are coming in for the English dub, especially one that I'm kind of like hyped about. I mean, yeah, Cara Edwards is in there. Yeah, my friend Cara. She voices Kid Goten and Videl, Gohan's pretty much wife and Pan's mom. Yeah, Pan's in the movie too. We pretty much already know that. But anyways, GT Goten from Dragon Ball GT is coming back to voice Teen Goten for the dub.
Oh, that I didn't know. I'll be honest. That was a good surprise. I'm looking forward to the dub because, for one, we've got the original cast. Second, I feel like they're going to spoil us even further.
We'll just have to wait and see because there's two more voice actors that are on that list that I didn't mention, but I'm not going to say because I was told not to say who. So, anywho, so pretty much alright.
No worries.
The next thing I'm going to mention is one specific character that is now canon within the Dragon Ball universe or within the series, and so it's shown within the movie, Android 21.
I was very surprised that they'd include her, as well as, I'm not gonna name too many things. However, I'll say I'm glad they did include her, as well as keep the name puns.
Yeah, because
So
Android 21. Sorry to cut you off. Android 21 first showed up in Dragon Ball Fighters. It's pretty much it's a console game and it's on Steam as well too. The price for if you still want to go play Dragon Ball Fighters, go ahead. Link in the description down below. Dragon Ball Fighters. It's kind of like it's made in like the Street Fighter way, in Mattel, made with like Arc Systems and yeah, whatever else it was used. I haven't played in a while. I need to get back to playing it. But anyways, Android 21 was kind of like the main villain of like the whole series, and like it depends on like which route you take because within the game there's 3 routes you can take and each one will lead you to like a different ending, but the true ending is Android 21 actually turning good, but her evil half, it's kind of like, even though like her evil half is kind of like a Majin in the way, the good half stayed with the Z fighters and the evil half just went off like absorbing everybody and getting stronger, and then in the end Android 21 pretty much sacrificed herself just so everything can go back to normal. But the only thing is, within the story mode, Goku and Vegeta did not even use their Super Saiyan God transformation because their powers were limited because of, it was like some weird EM wave that was being put out, so none of them can transform until they destroy whatever is in the area or destroy their clone. It's if you guys want to play it, go ahead and link in the description down below. But yeah, Android 21 is now canon in the Dragon Ball universe because of this movie.
That film was very interesting because when you mention it, it felt like Dragon Ball focused on Goku, Dragon Ball Z focused on Goku and Vegeta. Then
and don't forget Gohan a little bit, because remember the Majin Saga, how the whole time Goku died right after the Cell Saga, and then going into the Majin Saga it was just pretty much focusing on Gohan, how Gohan was in high school, and then Goku coming back towards the end and everything else.
You are correct. However, because there's such a nostalgia towards the rivalry, I feel Gohan's character was limited in Z, where we couldn't explore it more about, from what he did, what he ate, or even we've seen Goku and Vegeta eat. However, the only time we've seen Gohan slurp down or even bother to chow down, there was one thing that bugged me about the tournament saga, aka the Majin Buu saga.
Yeah.
The only time we see Gohan behave Saiyan, eating, is when they reach the tournament, slurping down crazy amounts. Yet, it was a small tidbit. It was nice to see him inherit the Saiyan gene, where he goes crazy when he was training Videl. Remember?
Yeah, he showed her how to focus her ki, shoot ki blast, fly, and a bunch of other stuff.
Yes, that was very wholesome. I mean, I can't think of any other Z character who'd invest in another human with extraordinary strength. I mean, there's Krillin, then he has his job. There's Android 18, who'd do it for money, as she was focused on. Then there's Master Roshi, except he needs the Kame Seinen. He needs his affection, for safer words. Then,
of course.
Then there's Vegeta, who'd do it for food. Yamcha and Tien, they're busy. And you got Piccolo, who's training by himself.
The Red Ribbon Army compared in the Dragon Ball series compared to now, because remember after when Goku destroyed them, we didn't hear anything about them until Trunks came back in the Android Saga.
Yes, I remember.
And it was just Dr. Gero working by himself, because he was the only person that was supporting the Red Ribbon Army was Dr. Gero at the point, because as he was developing androids throughout the past years, he ended up getting like his whole body destroyed, which he ended up converting himself into an Android 20. And remember, before Android 20 and Android 19, Vegeta showed up as Super Saiyan for the first time, destroyed Android 19, and then Dr. Gero disappeared, then released 17, 18, and then 16.
Yes,
and
I
then
remember that.
Gero, and then he gets killed by Android 17, and then bam, androids are released. They cause chaos and everything. And then Cell's released, and then androids get absorbed, and then Cell becomes Perfect Cell, and then I don't have to explain pretty much the rest of that because everybody pretty much knows that. And then now, if you look at the Red Ribbon Army now, they kind of resourced and rebuilt their whole structure, and now they're like one giant empire closed off within a dome.
In a way, I'd like to think that it was a redemption arc for Dr. Gero. I'd like to think that because of what happened, I think there was a lot of redemption for the way Gamma 1 and 2, or we know as Ichigo and Eagle, they were released, how they had such a big vision, how they were so loyal. That was in a way of what... Do you ever think that was how Gero would have wanted 17 and 18 to be? Because he was so immersed in revenge. He was consumed by the
They kind of were teenagers that he kidnapped. They were teenagers that he kidnapped off the street and then converted into synthetic androids. Of course, they would rebel against him.
Exactly, and I don't think he understood that, because the last time we understood Dr. Gero having any affection towards family, it was through marriage, then through having a son who he modeled after 16. No spoiler alert.
Yeah, you know who Dr. Gero's wife is, right?
Of course. Yep. Dr. Well, we're not gonna say her real name for now.
Say it.
In desu ka?
English.
That's okay. It's okay, right? It's fine. There's no problem. Okay, Dr. Vomi. Dr. Vomi. Dr. Gero found the perfect soulmate to his other that completed him. So he went all, oh, hey, my name's Gero. Your name's Vomi. And he pulled a Master Roshi, a Kame Seinen. And in the original dub, together our species could mix.
Android 21, or her original name before she became Android 21, Dr. Vomi, pretty much means vomit in English. Dr. Puke. Dr. Vomit.
Dr. Puke, Dr. Vomit, Dr. Barf.
Anyways, Gamma 2 took on Piccolo, and it didn't really fare very well. At least that's what Gamma 2 thought. And then Piccolo kind of gave him the slip, snuck away within the dust, and then hid in a way Because Gamma 1 was flying high in the air. Piccolo decided to stay low so he can evade him, but he almost hit a couple cars at the same time as well too. And Gamma 2 ended up leading Piccolo to the base, and Piccolo ended up discovering that the Red Ribbon Army has not been destroyed. They rebuilt everything.
That is correct. I think it was surprising. This movie shows Piccolo he is the smartest of them all. Not because he's Namekian, not because he doesn't think like an Earthling. Piccolo's character has been characterized as a brute focused on revenge in Dragon Ball. Then Dragon Ball Z, he thinks about the future. And then in the Future Trunks arc, and even in the Frieza saga, he's very observant.
I mean, he kind of gained wisdom after absorbing Nail and then fusing with Kamui, so pretty much a lot of that would change him completely.
Piccolo was depicted as not just a warrior, he was depicted as legitimately Z fighters or the original team's strategist. There's a lot of characterization we see. Alright, so here's the great thing I loved about this film. I won't say too much. Piccolo was the greatest thing in the film because he was willing to go through lengths. He did so many things that led up to the events of what we saw. You saw it, I saw it.
Yeah, go ahead. You don't have to hold anything back. Go ahead, say the whole thing because this is a spoiler video, so...
Okay. I'm just gonna say it. Piccolo is a super ninja. He donned on the clothes of the Red Ribbon Army. That's what we love about Piccolo. Despite the fact that Goku and Vegeta have fighting smarts, they seem to forget Piccolo is willing to do the work of even almost destroying his reputation. Because he's descended from Piccolo Daimao. He donned on the clothes, he did the work, and he cooperated with almost everybody. Then he still remains like, oh, good job. You did the job. You did the work. Not me. I just had to carry you guys back.
Yeah, Piccolo pretty much went undercover at the Red Ribbon Army just to figure out why there was a new android for some reason. And when he did that, he discovered that the Red Ribbon Army were plotting to attack every single Z fighter like Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, Hercule, and Majin Buu, everybody else. But what he ended up figuring out was that if there's two androids, there might be a bigger threat afterwards. So what he did was he contacted Bulma, and as Bulma was talking to him, Bulma said, "Oh, she's gonna see if she can gather up like a small group." Even though Goku and Vegeta were not on the planet, she did call for Goku and Vegeta, but for some reason Goku and Vegeta didn't answer because Goku, Vegeta, and Broly were all training on Beerus and Whis' planet. Well, pretty much it's Beerus' planet, but anyways, they were training on there, and like the reason why no one answered because Beerus grabbed the army with Chile, and then they walked back, and then as he was done eating the ice cream, threw it over Whis' staff, and then with that bucket over Whis' staff, it created like a funnel, so you can't really hear as much. The ice cream bucket was on top of the staff, and then nothing. You can see it flashing. You can see it flashing, but nothing. No, you couldn't hear a thing.
That was what I loved. I was thinking in my head, hey, is this a cell phone joke? Is this a signal reference? Is this are you trying to tell us, hey, Bulma landed the crappy area of Wi-Fi, or like signal?
Put it like this: say if like you had to say like the meanest shit of your life, so like you leave your phone in your room, but as you're in the bathroom, like, oh, I forgot my phone, and then when you go back to check your phone, you have like a bunch of missed messages and like calls.
That too. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, this is the 90s. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
I was laughing uncontrollably. I was thinking, Toriyama, you're ingenious. You're leaving. You're telling your audience this is what we went through, and to future generations, hey, you're probably gonna go through this shit. Pardon my language. All right, I see what you mean. That part I definitely remember.
Yeah, it's pretty much the bucket on top of the ice cream. No, not the bucket. The bucket on top of the staff. The bucket it pretty much blocked out the signal, so it pretty much like it created like a funnel. So like it's like going off. Normally, if the bucket was not on there, Whis would have heard it immediately. But since the bucket was on top of it, everybody's all distracted, and yeah, Bulma got upset because like Whis didn't answer. That's why.
Sorry. Your call's not important.
But so pretty much after this, Bulma informs Piccolo that and not get in touch with Beerus or Whis or Goku or Vegeta. So pretty much what she did was she grabbed Krillin, Android 18, Goten, and Trunks.
Do you remember a time when Piccolo communicated with Bulma this much? When you watched original Dragon Ball?
No, they didn't really talk as much because everything was still in like turmoil. Because remember Frieza, the Saiyans, androids. I think the last time Piccolo did communicate with Bulma was before the whole Battle of Gods, before Frieza, before anything from Super. Remember the driving episode from Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, I do remember.
That and within the Cell Saga, those are the only few times Piccolo only spoke to Bulma. But other than that, if you've seen Super, they pretty much communicated pretty much all the time because the Bulma's birthday episode within the Dragon Ball Super series and within the Battle of Gods movie, Piccolo was there, but they didn't communicate.
I think this is a good breakdown of how much maturity of Piccolo willing to open up, that he's willing to reach out, he's willing to talk, he's willing to communicate. This is a big growth of character. I'd like to see more of how Piccolo communicates with others, relaying information.
One thing I do want to mention is how did he get a phone? Because what I've been noticing is within Dragon Ball Super, almost everybody has a phone now. Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Goten, Trunks, they all have phones now.
I think that's thanks to Gohan and Videl.
Or Bulma.
Or Bulma. Like, those phones were developed by Bulma in canon. I'm gonna say this, and the audience will hate me. The Red Ribbon Army has a hard on people who love aliens, all just because of Bulma's history with the original team. Everything involving Bulma, the Red Ribbon Army hates Bulma so much that they're willing to paint Capsule Corp as this big hoo-ha, this big honcho, this villain.
Yeah, Bulma, the Breeze family, or her father, to be exact.
That too. It goes to show how petty the Red Ribbon Army is. In the world where Bulma lives, in the world where Dragon Ball takes place, Capsule Corp is a giant humanitarian organization that charges a bit. You'll get your money's worth. I feel like Toriyama is telling us the Red Ribbon Army is the polar opposite to Capsule Corp. Whereas one company is founded by the love of people, the Red Ribbon Army is founded by the hatred of people. Because every time the Red Ribbon Army fails, have you noticed something about Capsule Corp? Capsule Corp keeps growing.
We don't really see that much because we only see like certain things. We don't see everything all at a time, just certain things.
Capsule Corp was employing Goku to do the dirty work, as well as the original Dragon Ball team, when you think about it.
I mean, Goku
because
destroyed all of Red Ribbon Army back in the original Dragon Ball series, but...
And how could he do it legally? Because unless they didn't care about the law, destruction of property, then there's no way a little kid could get away with that much destruction. And then there's Capsule Corp, which has their own legal interpreters, and not to mention, Goku's food bill was covered. Think about it.
Does make sense.
Piccolo used his smarts and thought, hey, since Goku lived with these people and communicated with them, I think I'll give it a shot. Using his smarts, communicating with people, relaying information, and being a protector.
Yeah, he watched over Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Bola, and now Pan.
Oh yeah, that guy deserves more credit, in my opinion.
Also forgot to mention in the beginning of the movie, he did train Pan, and there was kind of a little similarity because if you look at the original Dragon Ball Z, when Piccolo was training Gohan compared to when Piccolo was training Pan, Gohan was more beat up and Pan was just drinking water with him.
I also like to think it's because Gohan did it. He did it. He softened up Piccolo and helped him realize he too can be as lively as human. And Piccolo is not so closed-hearted. That he was telling Piccolo that it's okay, you're Namekian and you need to be reminded that you have a heart of justice, a heart of gold. I think that hit me hard.
But the funny thing is, right after Gohan defeated Cell and the whole Majin Buu saga, he did get kind of lazy. Because remember, Battle of the Gods, Gohan didn't really do much. Resurrection F, he kind of did somewhat, but still got folded by Frieza. And then Goku and Vegeta had to save the day. The Tournament of Power, before we got to the Tournament of Power, the Universe 6 vs 7, Gohan did help Goku with that. He did do somewhat of a thing. Goku Black Saga, Gohan was nowhere to be found.
That's right.
The Tournament of Power Saga, Gohan was in there. I mean, he did help until he got taken out, but yeah, the Broly movie, Gohan was nowhere to be seen. Only Piccolo, Goku, Vegeta, Bulma for a little bit, Broly, and then everybody else.
Yeah.
Gohan was nowhere to be found in the movie.
I like to think that the movie takes place between...
No. The Dragon Ball superhero movie. That's like in the manga right now, because the manga, the Moro Saga ended right after a while ago. The Granola arc, the Granola Saga, that's like almost coming to a close. It's after that saga, that's where they place the superhero movie after. They place it right after the Granola Saga.
Okay, that does make sense.
It's the Broly Saga, the Moro Saga, the Granola arc, and then the superhero movie.
Okay, that does make sense. Now that you mention it, you are right.
Yeah, so anyways, Piccolo ends up going back within the Red Ribbon Army as like his like disguised soldier-ish like uniform. And then as he's doing that, he discovers that some of the characters are about to get attacked. Gamma 1 goes after Krillin and 18, Goten and Trunks, and Gamma 2 just stays there in the base. Piccolo and one of the soldiers has to go kidnap Pan.
This movie is definitely celebratory. They celebrate so many things of the original aspects of Dragon Ball. Opposite of Goku, very, very, very sneaky, very Japanese, very ninja-esque.
What are your thoughts on when Piccolo had to go undercover with that soldier just to go kidnap Pan?
I like to think he had this all pre-planned. Piccolo was smart. He signaled to Pan in an ingenious way. Before Pan could reach the potential she did to fly, Piccolo let out a message in order to let her know, hey, she's safe. Hey, this is me, and I need your cooperation because I do need your help. The past Piccolo would never have done this. The way he was hesitant with recruiting Dende, and Dende was only a 12-year-old at that point. He was hesitant.
Could have been younger, I'm not really sure.
He was very willing to tell Pan, relay the information, have her play along. This is a Piccolo that is, I'd like to describe as wild. This is not the classic Piccolo that we know. This is new Piccolo.
Not even after, right after Piccolo got confirmation that Goku, Vegeta, Broly, Beerus, and everybody else are not going to show up to help. So Bulma said she was going to round up Krillin, Android 18, or she pretty much said she was going to round up a couple people with like Krillin, Android 18, Goten, and Trunks. And also, Piccolo did ask her if like she had the Dragon Balls, so Piccolo used the Dragon Balls to get a wish to make himself stronger. And then the thing that was kind of weird is why did Bulma waste one of the wishes
on her butt?
Why? It was not needed. She was only saying that hypothetically, and Shinra was like, oh, for real? And then granted, and I'm like, did she really just waste a wish just to make her ass bigger? Why?
I feel like Dragon Ball is evolving with the times in that film.
As they go to Gohan's house, Gohan's in his room studying as usual, and then they open the window, and then bam, one of them holds a gun to try to get Gohan to come out of the house. Gohan flicks it away, which I found funny, and then he shows the video of Pan, and then the second he sees that Pan got kidnapped, what happened?
Gohan flipped the lid. He was willing to cooperate.
Second Pan was in danger, and he found out that Pan was in danger. You see how fast he went Super Saiyan? And the crater it created and almost sunk his house?
Yeah. Gohan didn't care. Gohan realized, hey, I think I should quit this nonsense of being a scholar. At this point, I've reached my limit, and this is what happens when I don't care about Pan.
Yeah, he wasn't paying attention and she got snatched up. Or pretending to get snatched up.
That was very genius.
No,
whatever route Pan takes, I think she's gonna outsmart Gohan.
But the thing is, like, before we even get, let's jump back into the beginning real quick. Because remember how when Piccolo first showed up back at his house, like, trying to see what Gohan was up to, and he saw that Gohan was studying instead of training, so what Piccolo got mad, he got pissed, the fact that Gohan wasn't training, he was just studying, wasting away, and rather relying on Goku and Vegeta to say that it should be Gohan doing it, not just them. Because Piccolo did mention, like, what if one day Goku and Vegeta are not there to help out, and Gohan will have to be there to defend everybody. So what Piccolo did was remember that closed beam back in the original Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
Yeah, he did it again.
Yeah. And that was why he was wearing the costume or the clothes of Piccolo. And I do think that is good because it shows that he cares about Gohan. He genuinely cares that inside, Gohan is still his son.
Yeah, but anyways,
you know?
Gohan was brought to the Red Ribbon Army by Piccolo in disguise and the soldier that was pretty much afraid of him because Gohan freaking threatened him because if he didn't, Gohan wasn't gonna punch his face in if he didn't bring him to Pan. So as he got there, Gohan ended up fighting Gamma 2. And as they were fighting, Piccolo was up in like the balcony guarding Pan, so if anything happens, Piccolo's right there. As they were fighting, Gohan goes Super Saiyan, jumps up to Super Saiyan 2, and then as Piccolo saw that Gohan might not win, so Piccolo just had an idea. He told Pan, and then Piccolo held Pan up in a way like he was choking her. Gohan sees this from a distance and then goes Mystic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he flips out and then he goes
pretty
Mystic.
much. This is gonna shoot down a lot of, and people are gonna hate me probably. Well, whatever. This goes to show that Piccolo didn't communicate with Gohan throughout the whole ride. He didn't even give a hint. He knew Gohan was the lid. And I hate saying this, but I think Cell was Piccolo's best teacher for a time being. Because Cell...
Why Cell?
Taught him how to... Think about it. Do you remember when Gohan flipped the lid when Android 16 was completely decimated, destroyed by Cell?
Yeah, because Android 16 cared about, like, he didn't really care about, like, killing everybody else. He just wanted, like, the animals, plants, pretty much, like, he cared about, like, nature and all that stuff. And Gohan kind of saw a connection between that. And then, but when Cell stomped his head in, Gohan got upset and then saw, oh, he could have saved them, but nope, he was messing around. So that triggered it within him, and then he got angry, and then went Super Saiyan 2.
Oh, yeah.
That was back in Dragon Ball Z.
That was way back in Dragon Ball Z. I think Piccolo was really knew what he was doing. He knew how to awaken Gohan's full potential, and I'm glad that Piccolo was the one. I am very glad.
As
any other thoughts?
As one of the Gammas were fighting Gohan after he went Mystic, for some reason they realized that they can't really stand a chance against Gohan anymore. So the other Gamma stepped in, and then Piccolo was like, no. Piccolo steps in the fight. Transforms into like his new we don't really know the name of Piccolo's new form because he has two forms, one where he goes light green, one where he goes orange. The first one he goes like a lighter green from his normal green Namekian skin color, and then he takes on the other Gamma. Gohan is fighting the other Gamma as well, but Pan is just like up there relaxing, chilling, like not really paying attention to like anything else. Piccolo's fighting Gamma 2. They're on like this weird rock formation that's for some reason they start sliding down. They're like equally matched, but Gamma 2 ends up overpowering Piccolo in a way. And then as that's happening, Piccolo like starts falling. He gets kicked off the cliff and then starts falling, and then remembers the fight to protect everybody, and then he triggers a new form, which if you've seen Dragon Ball Super, that little halo that Madara Zamasu had, it kind of looked like that on his back for some reason, and then he turned orange and a little bit taller, and then for some reason, and then Gamma 2 could not even like touch him anymore. It's like he's like, if you what was his name back in the original Dragon Ball Z? He was like one of the movie villains, Lord Slug.
Yes.
He was like Slug in a way. He was like the exact jacked as Slug and the exact same height as Slug as well too. Their fight continued. Piccolo ended up beating Gamma 2. They ended up beating both of the Gammas, and then lo and behold, like they switch sides, and then everybody else starts running. They start running away, and then Bulma shows up with Android 18, Krillin, Goten, and Trunks. But Goten and Trunks are not kids anymore. They finally grew up. You can see that they're teenagers now. Teen Goten and Trunks.
Best part is they look... Basically, Trunks and Goten look like their final episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, when they were training. And then Goten started to become lazy.
I think it ties in. It fits in at the end of the day.
One of the Red Ribbon Generals disappeared with the kid. That also was a part of this whole operation of why like Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 exists, because he was in He was in tandem with being them created, so he runs back to go release his main weapon, which we all know is Cell Max. I mean, another name would have
Yes,
been better, but Cell Max, it's like Cell, but it's like giant kaiju-sized Cell.
exactly. The funny thing is, in the original manga, and as well as the anime, Cell says the only weakness is his head.
The
So
nucleus.
I feel like this is basically Funimation corrected this part. Funimation said, oh hey, inside of my body is every unique regenerative organism from Piccolo.
Frieza, King Cole, Trunks, Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, Krillin, Yamcha,
So
Tien,
my cells
Chaozu,
acted
and
fast
Master Roshi, pretty
to
much
regenerate.
everybody. All their techniques. If it wasn't for Piccolo's Namekian DNA, he wouldn't be able to regenerate.
Exactly. So the fact, because a Namekian can only be eliminated by their head, then Cell took that cue. Here's my justification for why Cell would say, oh, it's because my head regenerated everything. I think Cell was thinking of outdated terminology, as long as his head is intact. So he was literally going by programming. However, this is very appropriate.
No, but you also gotta remember when Goku fought him to the Ancient Transmission Kamehameha for the first time, he did destroy the upper half of Cell's body, but it still did regenerate.
Yes. So the dub did correct it, and that is what I'm grateful for. Because I'm thinking ahead as I'm watching it in the original. I'm thinking, how do you regenerate when your head was blown off? And now we have a proper explanation
Alright,
for Cell
so
Max.
Alright, so Cell Max gets released. The kid who saw that Cell Max got released got afraid, took off, and then it goes back to the few Z fighters that are there: Gohan, Piccolo in his brand new form, Teen Trunks and Goten, Android 18, and Bulma. They're all just there, just talking, going over Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. They decided not to pursue this anymore because they decided that instead of working with the Red Ribbon Army, they're gonna turn a new leaf and they're gonna work with the Z Fighters. So, and then as their discussion is, they hear a loud roar out of nowhere. But when they look in the distance, they see Cell coming towards them. Gohan is the first person to notice this, and he's like, Cell.
There's a good reason why the Gamma Twins at least decided to work with the team. It was because the Gamma Twins witnessed how impure the Red Ribbon Army was. One of the financiers started shooting at Pan, and that legitimately set off the Gamma Twins, and they went all, hey, you can't do that. I thought we were heroes of justice, not killers of children. That was when they realized we were lied to. That's what I love about this film. It's that realization. It's when the organization I worked for was not what it was.
Yeah, so instead of they continue working for them, they decided to cut and leave and work with the actual people who are actually trying to do good.
And they started realizing, oh hey, these aliens that the Red Ribbon Army has been telling me invading the Earth, maybe they're not invading the Earth, maybe they just want to help. That was very, very, very.
As the Z Fighters are going to take on Cell Max, one of the Gammas decided to stay with, I forgot the boy's name. Gamma 1 stayed with, I'm still going to call him the boy. Gamma 1 stayed with the boy, and then as Gamma 2 went to go attack Cell Max, what's the first thing that he do that referenced Tokusatsu? Jumps in the air and does a what?
Rider kick.
I had to watch that back 3 times. I'm like, Gamma 2 just Rider kicked Cell. It didn't do much, but he
But that was good.
I mean, even though he didn't fail and he didn't get destroyed in a way, Gamma 1 ended up stepping in. He grabbed Gamma 2's body, brought him over to the boy who was still passed out, and then started to help out to try to defeat Cell Max. Then everybody else jumps in, and then Goten and Trunks decide to do the fusion, but Goten didn't want to. He was like, oh, I don't really remember how to do the fusion, but he'll do his best. As they're doing their fusion, what happens?
Basically, Goten turned into the very first appearance he was. Fat, obese.
Fat Gotenks.
Oh yeah.
Because Goten didn't remember how to do the fusion dance. And, as they were doing it, Piccolo noticed that he kind of pointed his fingers in the wrong direction. It was Goten's fault why the fusion failed.
I think it's also because Toriyama wanted to remind us, aged, because Goten is younger, and he was later to reach Super Saiyan than Trunks.
Yeah, Trunks learned it via Vegeta training in the gravity machine in Capsule Corp.
Yes.
Goten learned it when he was training with Chi-Chi.
And it was very funny because Chi-Chi was trying to prevent Goten from becoming the very thing, just only rely on human strength.
Yeah, but as
Yet
they were
she
training,
drew it out.
As they were training, he ended up going Super Saiyan and then mid-kick to Chi-Chi. Yeah, but they become fat. They become fat Gotenks. They become fat Gotenks. They just start fighting as much as they could, but didn't really do much. And then Gohan steps in, and then Gohan reminds Piccolo, "Oh, can't you go giant?" And then Piccolo goes to his giant Namekian form, and then starts fighting Cell Max in equal playing field. Because if you kind of look at it in a way, because the Lord Slug movie, he was like only known as the only Namekian that can go giant. Piccolo did do that back in the tournament saga, back in the old Dragon Ball, which was kind of a reference. They did show a flashback as well too, and then as Piccolo started to remember that he can go giant, he did it, and then fought Cell at an equal playing field.
Which makes me wonder, the reason why Piccolo didn't go giant, was it because he was afraid of being Piccolo Daimao or his past? Then how was Gohan able to remember this? And then you gotta remember, Goku did talk about his history with Piccolo, and as he was probably training, there was some bit that Gohan knew Piccolo could do this or pull a stunt like this.
Yeah, they ended up fighting at equal playing field, but for some reason Piccolo was kind of matched to Cell, but at the same time Cell was moving a lot quicker, throwing more hits than ever, and then Piccolo wanted to like make sure he can actually get this finish. So Piccolo did tell Gohan to aim for his head, because remember the last time they fought Cell, they had to destroy the nucleus cells in Cell's head. If you destroy that, Cell's whole body will disintegrate. So Piccolo wanted Gohan to charge his energy just enough so he can take out the nucleus. So Piccolo was pretty much distracting him until Gohan could actually aim for his head. But Piccolo ended up becoming overpowered. He ended up becoming overpowered because Cell Max was a bit stronger than he thought.
Which also, I found it interesting that the Red Ribbon Army did not make Cell Max or equip him with a tail. So I think they knew from their mistakes, oh hey, we need to equip this guy with a tail to absorb people, to absorb life.
No, but the thing is, if you look at his tail, it looks like there's a mace on it. There's no like syringe looking thing on his tail like last time. Right as Cell Max ended up overpowering this new form of Piccolo, which I still don't know the name of. I'm pretty sure they already gave the name. Piccolo ended up becoming overpowered, and Gohan notices as he's charging his ki, and then as he saw that, like, it was kind of a little flashback to when Android 16 got his head stomped by Cell, and then Cell Max holding Piccolo like lifeless in like his arm in the air. Gohan went ballistic and lost his shit. It showed the exact same way how when Gohan first went Super Saiyan 2, that same red stream that cut through his head, it showed it within the movie, and then Gohan erupts into like this newer form with whitish grayish hair that looks like Ultra Instinct, but it's not Ultra Instinct, and red eyes. You can kind of compare this to, because if you look at Dragon Ball GT, the whole Tuffle saga, how Baby took over Vegeta, you can kind of see the comparisons, the red eye and the gray hair. It looks similar in a way.
This movie is definitely homage central.
Yeah, if you look at it in a way, it's kind of like Super Saiyan 2, but like grayish, silverish in a way. And Gohan did get a bit taller within the movie. And instead of like him channeling a Kamui wave just to take out the nucleus within Cell, Piccolo wasn't really knocked out. Piccolo was just like unconscious for like a couple seconds. He did get back up, wrap his arms around him just to hold Cell down, just so Gohan could charge his energy. He charged his energy, but he didn't do a Kamui wave. He did a special beam cannon. But he didn't say special beam cannon. He said Cho Makas. It was Cho Makako Senpo. I think that's what it was.
Cho Makanko Senpo.
Yeah, which means super special beam cannon, which was pretty much his technique. Piccolo's technique, but Gohan.
Well, actually, it means the light of death.
I mean, I'm
as translated by
the attack, but anyways, he charges his beam, he shoots it at Cell's head. We didn't really see a nucleus be destroyed. It just, guessing that was his brain. That was pretty much that was in there. But it was cracked from when Gotenks fell on top of his head, and then cracked the domicile both on top of his head.
That was funny.
Gohan aimed for that same spot and then took out Cell completely. And then they had to fly away because, you know, when back in the original Cell saga, when Cell reverted to his semi-perfect Cell, which is his second form, he became giant and then exploded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Everyone
pretty
made
much
it
how
out
it went.
alive at the end.
Yeah, right after Gohan aimed for that spot, he became giant as he looked in the Cell Saga and then exploded, and then everything was pretty much good from there.
Bam.
And yeah, that's pretty much every single spoiler within the Dragon Ball Super Superhero movie. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be in theaters for that long. Like, if it is like within your vicinity, see it now before it's too late, or unless you want to wait until it's like online on like Crunchyroll or like any other websites you guys like to watch it on, or wait until the DVD comes out. I think it's gonna be like, I think we won't get the DVD till like the fall or around after the summer. We'll have to wait and see.
I'm looking forward to it.
What are your thoughts on the whole movie?
I very, very highly much hope that it gets spread out. I hope older fans, younger fans, and new fans yet to be will enjoy this film as much as we did.
Yeah, because it references old stuff from Dragon Ball Z with the like newer concepts within this like the new Dragon Ball Super universe.
After this film came out, because I wonder how many more Easter eggs fans will point out